So in 1 month and 1 week, we know everything about the idea. We know the marketability because we can look to CPI to see that. We can say about the funnels, the retention, the play session. We know if this prototype deserves to be developed or not, or need a huge change, or need to just keep going doing this because we can see a great potential on it.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Tangent ROI 101. Today we are gonna talk about porting mobile games. Our guest, Everton Vieira, co-founder and CEO of IzyPlay Studio, will go deep into his framework of porting games and launching games. Enjoy.
So firstly, before to think in multi-platform, it's important to let your game flexible to different kind of business models, right? Because free-to-play and premium is absolutely completely different each other. But the first advice here is easier to port free-to-play to premium than in other way. Premium to free-to-play is almost impossible. Yeah. So although it's not easy, it's easier free-to-play to premium. So it's important to pay attention to some criteria here. Firstly, we are focusing on this frame. I can call framework, right? We call the incremental arcade, but the market is called the idle arcade or arcade idle is similar. We just avoided to use the idle word because there is no idle in the core. So I think that incremental is a better word to describe what we are doing. So if it's your first contact with this term, I can resume it like a arcade core loop. Any arcade you can do that must be easy to understand, easy to play, fun. That is the criteria. And around the core, we have this incremental layer that in short means progression, motivation, retention. And here, I think that is the first secret that I can share, game economy. So if your game use game economy as a base, as the useful mechanic layer. So for example, here in our game called Iza's Supermarket, the economy is clearly a base of our economy, right? Isa earn money from the clients, use this money to buy new shelves, to expand the market, to hire new guys to help her in the tasks. So the economy make sense in our game, in the core loop, and mainly in the meta game, right? So doing this, we can remove ads and we can remove in-app purchases, and the economy is still making sense, right? That is the first, I can say, big advice, right? So that is the way we use to let flexible and comfortable free-to-play game to a premium version, if you want, or even subscription in case, for example, another subscription platform. Because there is another common point between the different models, the different business models, free-to-play, premium, subscription. For all of them, retention is important. For example, the studio the revenue from the games for a studio in a subscription model is based on retention, not in download currently. If you take a look in the whole platforms, the majority offer revenue via retention. The play time the players play your game is the indicator to we receive more or less revenue. So if your game has content adapted to explore properly retention, would be a great differential for you. Here are a few good advantage to incremental arcade. And here is our not secret, because I shared this slide with everyone, but is our key pipeline, I can say.
Nice.
is a good resume from the last 4 years that we test. So we use the hyper casual approach to prototype a casual idea. For example, in 1 month, we can design a proper MVP. I can say it's a good name. And right after this development, we trigger a simple meta campaign. So in 1 month and 1 week, we know everything about the idea. We know the marketability because we can look to CPI to see that. We can say about the funnels, the retention, the play session. We know if this prototype deserves to be developed or not, or need a huge change, or need to just keep going doing this because we can see a great potential on it. In the last 3 years, we tested maybe 30 prototypes, 30 MVPs. And this one here is the best 8 that show at least one great KPI. Retention, playtime, low CPI. And here I can say that is the proof that this incremental arcade category or approach, because it's not a genre, right? We tested a racing game, a farming game, a melee fighting game, adventure puzzle, a fishing, a mining, or even a business simulation game.
Every genre.
Is exactly. And we have spoilers already, right? We decided to took this one 1.5 years ago and start designing our big game based on it, based on this good.
And even visual has changed, right? You had
Exactly.
all those hyper casual, and now it's casual, basically, just based on
Exactly.
the. Oh, nice.
We
Okay.
call this double A casual to let clear that is a premium perception, right? We increase the art style twice because we keep trying to reduce the risks, right? We keep trying to de-risk the investment. So you can see I intermediate quality here, just day 7 in the middle of the time the roadmap. But we already tested in-app purchases, for example, in this stage, and we could manage to see good results. So we increase even more the quality, the content, and the ambitious to the project. Let it comfortable and flexible to explore. Web, I didn't mention web. Web is a very important platform currently. Web, PC, and other different business models, right? We expect to launch IZA to Nintendo Switch until the end of this year, exactly using this approach as a premium version. And we expect to give a good or a big launch about April in the free-to-play version of it. We keep working on the game, by the way.
I see.
Designing more and more content.
How difficult it was, like technically speaking? Did it take like a month, or if the game would be like the same as on the scale test, to convert it into the Switch version of the game?
Do you mean just the port part?
Yes.
Or the whole process?
Yes.
The port part is, I can say that is the easier part. We're talking about a few months to expect to take a few months to port the game. Obviously, we try to increase a bit more the quality, the visual, put a few more effects, and try to increase a bit to let the game more ambitious in the project to perform better in there. But it's a few months work to port. Thinking in all of this in the scratch, right? Obviously, it's not possible to decide this for already design the game, and it's important to think on this multi-platform since the day one development.
Of course. And what about the store policy and how hard it is to get to the Nintendo Switch store?
For this part, we are counting with our partner, a studio here in Brazil that already launched Switch titles. So it's important to have help on that, obviously. And year over year and title over title, we decide to get more independent on that or keep counting with a good partner. right? It's a
Publishing
nice
model.
student. Yeah, it's
Right.
a decision that every student can choose the
Got it.
best approach.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
The same to Steam, right? It's necessary to create the Steam page very earlier, announce the game with maybe a demo version, participate in events. Steam events is very important to focus on wish list. So depends on the platform is a different approach. So it's good to get help for each one.
Got it. I have a couple of more questions, but I don't know if you have more slides.
No, that's
That's the
for
one.
now is just just that is
Okay.
the
Um, Another question. What KPIs would you look at once you launch on this Steam or Switch?
good point. Depends on the platform. We have data from Steam, so we can keep looking the game and following the the performance in the store is not the same on consoles. There's a black box in there. We don't know what are happening. So
Yeah, yeah.
different approach to different platforms. But like I mentioned, the big KPI is retention because we'll offer a good playtime. Steam
Mm.
loves a great playtime. Is a indicator to highlight more or less the game in the store. So
Uh-huh.
a good playtime and a good score always is the best KPIs to looking at.
Got it. Um, what do you think? At what point, like I am a small indie studio, at what point does it make sense to follow this model?
Good question too. Um, it's important to think each platform at once because it's a big issue uh, thinking on all of them in the same time. So we suggest to look for in mobile first, focus just on get success on mobile. It's not an easy task, right? It's a very competitive
Yep.
platform. And considering because, for example, on mobile, narrative is not so important.
Yep.
Personality is not so important. For example, if you design an amazing solitary game, it's a
Yep.
common generic solitary game, we can get success on mobile, right? It's a
Mm-hmm.
great game. They trigger a good campaign of great creatives. User acquisition are working, so isn't sometimes enough. But if you are designing a game to perform it good on mobile and right after try the same on mobile on PC and consoles, it's important to in the day one considering to offer a more different games, maybe a solitary mix with tarot, a
Mm-hmm.
solitary game maybe
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
to that the mobile accepts in the great. It's not a incompatible approach, right? So maybe the different and here and there, but look in one platform in time, avoiding
I see.
huge investment
Mm.
before we have signs from the
I-
data on it.
Yep. Yep, yep, yep. And for web?
Web is amazing platform.
Mm-hmm.
I can say that the big issues now are two big ones. The first one is the port. There is no great platform currently to
Mm.
port properly the game.
Yep.
For example, Unity are announcing a good port from years,
Mm-hmm.
but at the moment there is no good port. And other platforms there is their own counters like Godot and Canva 3D and something like that. So the port into HTML5 is the big issue currently because now it's a bit expensive. Is in some case is necessary to design the whole game again. That is a terrible mistake. And the second one is about the ECPM,
Right.
the revenue from ads. That is very low compared to mobile. Uh,
Uh-huh.
and there is just a few options. Maybe Google AdSense is the 90% of the
Mm-hmm.
choices now, right?
Yep.
And mobile have a lot of different options. Because of that, we have more high SCPM, and web have a low CPM, and just a few options to explore about ad platforms. That's the two big issues. About in-app purchases, Xsola, for example, offered a great platform easy to integrate and very comfortable with a lot of payment methods. For example, there is no problem there. Obviously, the player not usual to expand in-app purchases on web, but it's a behavior thing. This would be increasing year over year. I think that the big ones is the porting and ads revenue, the big issue currently.
Yeah,
the amazing platform.
But it's also like commission there if you use a third party. You mentioned for Xsola, they're not taking 30%. They've taken, I don't know.
No, it's very cheaper comparing to the traditional mobile Google and Apple, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, if you are using a service, there is a cost, but it's very cheaper comparing to the current state of the industry.
Got it. Super, Everton. We covered 2 topics. That was effective.
Productive chat.
And productive. Yeah. That's a better word. Yep, absolutely. Alrighty. Then, thanks so much, Everton. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Until next one. Cheers.
Bye-bye.